All right, Cheryl, what are we talking about today? What do you got for us?
Well, it's the end of October. I mean, we're knocking on Halloween, which when I was a kid, Halloween was always deer hunt, right?
Always.
I mean, I remember driving home almost every, Halloween in a snowstorm, and I'd probably been out deer hunting before that. I talked to you, Neville, about yesterday. Kind of one of our traditions. We always used to listen to the World Series as we come off the mountain from deer hunting on AM radio. Yep. So I figured today we'd do a little podcast about deer hunting, late season hunts. I mean, we're rolling right into the end of October, and then you've got the third and fourth seasons, second, third, and fourth, I guess, still in Colorado, getting ready to kick off. It is funny that you say that Brady's gone today. So we got myself, Trail, we got Neville, we got Lorenzo on the podcast, and Brady, the number one mule guy. He's out.
Well, he's hunting mule deer.
He's hunting mule deer.
Makes total sense. He's on his hunting sabbatical right now.
I guess we can say whatever we want, right?
Yeah. He's on his hunting sabbatical right now. We'll do a follow-up with him and ask him
what he learned.
Yeah.
If it holds true.
It sounds like he's learning a lot out there right now since I've talked to him.
Really?
He hasn't seen shit.
Idaho's just in a tough spot, man. It's really tough.
Yeah, and I just got back last week from a hunt in Idaho. I had a deer tag. My brother had a deer tag and an elk tag, and we didn't kill. I saw a ton of does, though.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads into the topic of discussion I thought we'd talk about today is just, late season mule deer hunting and, tips and tactics. And I kind of broke it down in some bullet points, things that I thought we should touch on. First and foremost, I would say, scouting for your late season hunts. I think one of the most common questions I get from people that have a late season rifle tag is like, where should they be hunting?
Yeah.
That is the trickiest part.
How do you do it? What do you do?
I just listen to whatever Brady tells me most of the time.
Well, Brady tells you to go high.
That's Brady's theory, right?
Always just go high.
What do you think about Brady's theory?
I've been on a lot of hunts with him where I've gone high and I haven't seen shit.
I mean, there is some.
But there is something to be said about, he's killed big deer high, too.
There's some validity to it. But a broken clock is right twice a day, So it's like it's kind of walking the fine line of those two things. I think there's so much more that goes into a late season hunt than that. Like late season hunt, there's so many variables. It's like the early season hunt, you know exactly where to start, exactly what to do.
Yeah, go high.
Yeah, it's like laid out in front of you. Those late season hunts, it's like, it's processing a lot of different data points to figure out like, okay, where am I starting this time? And then what I like to say is I just like to hunt where the deer are.
Yeah,
so.
I think you kind of have to check them all off.
Start high. How do you do low. that? Let's say you've got a couple days. Let's give a scenario. So let's say you've got a third season rifle deer tag in Colorado, and you're going to show up 2 days early. You got 2 days to scout before the opener. What's your process? Like, what are you looking at in terms of habitat, and like what factors do you take into consideration as to where you start looking?
2 days early. It depends. Has it been wet, dry, wet, cold, dry and warm?
Yeah. Is that the first consideration then for you?
Yeah.
Weather.
100%. It's been, and it's not just like the current weather, it's been the trend of weather is what I would like first consider is like, okay, what's the last 30 days of weather look like? And that's kind of where I would start. Obviously the closer the last 10 days and the 10 days going forward, weather is going to hold a lot more data than like what the previous 20 days were. But that's typically that's where I would start is like, okay, what kind of year has it been? Has it been a wet summer? You start to kind of develop all this stuff. And that's typically where I've always started with like late season hunts. Okay.
Then you probably get a better guess of like what elevation to start at. Because if they've gotten a huge snowstorm for the last 2 weeks, like you're going to have deer they're going to be pushing down.
Doesn't fade Brady. Brady goes. Brady goes.
He's got to check it off his list.
Well, his theory is the bigger mule deer will wait till they'll be the last ones to go down is what his theory is. So he believes like till the snow's not like hitting their belly, like they will stay up as high as possible.
I think that time of year, you're moving in November, you're knocking on the door of the rut. I think those bucks are moving. They're kind of getting towards where they might want to be near does.
Yeah, they're staging.
They're kind of staging up.
Yeah.
And I would say primarily they're holding up in timber. Like I just barely saw in Idaho. I just came back from a hunt. We saw a ton of does, lots and lots of does. We saw quite a few young bucks. We just weren't seeing big mature bucks. It's not because I don't think they were there. I just think they were holed up.
Yeah.
I think they're timbered up.
And that's the other thing too. If it's been a wet late summer, which it was this year, that timber's going to have a ton of feed in it.
Yeah.
It's going to hold that feed through. If you get that late wet stuff through the summer, it's going to hold in the timber. They can stay in there for a lot longer. Whereas, if you get a dry, hot as shit.
Yeah.
Not much going on, and it looks like a tabletop in there. There's nothing growing out of the ground. Like those are the years where they, everyone's like, oh, it's been a really good pre-rut. Not really. It's could be predicated on like how dry, how dry all the feed was. The drier it is, the less feed you're going to have in those trees.
Yeah.
You have a pretty good knowledge of like vegetation and like what mule deer are eating in that time of year. Like, what would you recommend somebody, like, what vegetation?
Yeah, Trail, tell us about your
past
life.
I want to hear about vegetation. That's something like I'm not that great
I'm not that good at either.
Like sagebrush, oak brush, deer like that. Like, I'm looking for that kind of stuff. But
yeah, sage oak. Deer are primarily a browse species, so they're much more of a specialist than an elk. So an elk, we were seeing elk, for example. We were seeing elk eating, mostly grasses. They'll eat some forbs. They'll eat a lot of everything, right? They can move across the landscape. That's why I feel like if you bump an elk can go into the next drainage or 3 drainages over, and he can still make do because he's got food to eat, right? No matter where he's at. But a deer is primarily a browse species, so they are eating things like sagebrush, bitterbrush, snowberry bush. They're going to eat browse, mostly, plants that are, higher in nutrition, right? They have a more specific window of what they can eat. So, those are things I'm looking, especially late season. Late season, you're looking at things like mahogany, you're looking at, sagebrush, bitterbrush, you're looking at those types of plants because that's what they're going to eat.
So what I'm speaking to about the forest habitat and feed they have in there, I'm speaking to like pine nuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like acorns.
Snowberry bush is a classic bush. It'll grow, in those pine.
So what's the science behind that?
Aspen.
What's the science behind that? Like if it's been a wet late summer and those pines are dropping really good pine nuts and oaks are dropping good acorns, like they don't need to leave at all then.
No, they can stay timbered up. If there's sunlight, right? So if the forest isn't so dense that you can get some sunlight to the forest floor, I wouldn't go into a monoculture of pine. You know what I'm saying? And expect to find deer, or a monoculture of pinyon juniper. There's just nothing growing underneath it. There's no understory.
You can tell his past life with how he says that. I would just say, thick.
We might need to have like a dictionary definition pop up on the screen.
But you guys know what I mean, right? Like
for sure.
You've been to those pinyon and juniper grows where there's just nothing growing out. There's nothing underneath it. There's no understory. Yeah,
looks like a cafeteria tabletop when you walk in there.
Cleaned off, so there's nothing in there, for them to eat. So yeah, you've got to have some sunlight. It can't be so thick that there's nothing growing up underneath the rest of those trees. And then if you get a good wet late summer, spring, you can have good vegetation in those types of areas, and those deer will hold up. They won't leave. We see it with elk too.
For sure.
Beetle kill areas, right, where you've got a lot of standing dead, you've got a bunch of jack straw, you've opened up a bunch of resources for light and water, and you have a bunch of vegetation that's popped up and doing really well. So they can definitely make it in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And then does some of that vegetation vary on elevation to where it'll grow?
Yeah, snowberry is typically a higher elevation, type of plant.
Like sage can grow higher elevation.
Yeah, and you have different types of sage. That'll kind of, you have black sage, you have your traditional,
So are you looking more at elevation, or are you looking at feed when you're trying to find a spot to go for like late season mule deer?
Yeah, going back to the original question is like I look primarily first at weather, right? So if you had a lot of snow and it's real cold, I'm probably going to transition down to like a little bit transitional range, mountain mahogany, aspen, sage interface, pinyon juniper, sage interface. It's like that section that's kind of a slightly lower elevation than the high alpine type.
To the non-biologist, I'm looking at snow line and below.
Right.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's some weight to Brady saying, he thinks those bigger bucks. I think they end up, a lot of those bigger bucks, they'll end up wintering high. You do definitely see some bucks in January, February that just stay clear up to their bellies in snow. I don't know.
What I've seen with that, Brady, look, it is a shame Brady's not here for this, but we can have a follow-up with him. He's got more experience with just being high. That's what he does. So I don't want to discount that. But from my experiences hunting over the last long time, all late season hunts, it's like, those younger big bucks will leave early, and the older, like kind of done with it bucks will leave early. Those bucks that are in their prime, had good feed through the winter, have been stacking on weight and have a good body composition health going into this early part of winter, or early part of when it's getting cold. Like, those bucks I've seen tend to stay like till the snow's up to their belly. But I've never seen all the big bucks, because then you get some of those older age bucks that are just kind of like ready to pack it in, send it in, right? It's like you hear about guys all the time hunting a specific deer, for 3-4 years in a row, and then they finally kill him when he's 8 or 9 years old. It's kind of like when they're done with it and they finally make a mistake.
They make a mistake.
Yeah. And it's like you have those early big, those big little bucks, those big young bucks that'll peel off early, and then you have kind of those old declined bucks that'll peel off early, which, are awesome. They're awesome. But those, the prime age I've seen stay, like Brady's talking about, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like with that hunt is you're not going to see as many deer, but your chances of seeing maybe a bigger
big deer.
buck.
Yeah.
Like that's what Brady's looking for, right? He wants one big buck. Like he doesn't care if he doesn't see anything the whole entire trip, as long as he sees one big buck that he can shoot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which for some people that's difficult. Like to stay motivated and not see a single
hard.
deer day after day after day. But like if
that's
you
tough.
grind it out, like eventually.
That's when you're wishing you were on an antelope hunt.
Yeah.
I mean, I can stay extremely motivated if I know a buck is there.
No question.
If I've seen a buck, if I've scouted a buck, if I've got a glimpse of him, one evening,
no
I can hunt
question.
that area and stay with it, and I can go days on end without seeing any deer and feel okay about it. It's staying in it when you don't know if there is something there or not. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But I would say, I think about the weather first and foremost, just like you guys. I mean, if I had some snow, if not, I'm probably going to go high.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's dry and warm.
If it's been warm and dry, start as high as you can go.
Yeah, aspen, pine, sage interface, kind of that mosaic, and we've talked about it a ton, but, kind of that, high alpine basin-y stuff. I mean, if it's got some, and again, mosaic's a huge word for me. It's kind of that intermix of
right. It's got feed, got cover, water.
Mm-hmm.
I think a mosaic's a good way to say it, though. That's where all that vegetation's just kind of intermingled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it seems like those smaller like feeding pockets, like in the timber, not as big. Like it seems like that's where the big bucks are going to pop.
Those
out.
are the money spots for the warm, dry years. Those are the money spots.
Yeah.
I think about some of the bigger bucks I've seen on later season hunts in the last few years. A lot of those bigger bucks I've seen haven't been necessarily like inaccessible. Like they've been, some of them are obviously. And I think, hunting pressure, you can get away from people and probably, increase your chances of seeing a bigger buck maybe.
Yeah.
But some of those, a lot of them I've seen have just been tucked away in pockets that people just weren't able to glass from whatever location, most locations that they were in. So they were using the roads, they were hitting like your normal glassing points, but they weren't finding like this little pocket that you could only see from one area, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say, I look at weather, and then I look at, areas that potentially you aren't being able to look at from the obvious spots.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about finding. Like, how do you guys hunt late season deer? Like, what's your method?
I move around a lot.
Well, like we just talked about, coming off of the type of year it's been, and that'll kind of dictate the e-scouting and what I'm looking for, and, glassing points, all that stuff. Because the first thing I'm doing is moving around a ton and using the glass to do all the work.
Right.
All the work.
Glassing.
Yeah. 2 days early, I might leave my truck in the middle of the day, and that's it. Like
you're covering ground then.
Covering ground. Just all kinds of elevation, glassing, finding. Like I was saying earlier, I like to hunt where the deer are in the late season. Mm-hmm. Well, first way to start that is to find the deer. And it's kind of that age-old saying with mule deer is Halloween and on gets pretty spooky, right? That's like always been the thing. There is something special to it. It's like, Labor Day for elk. It's kind of like when things start kicking, with mule deer, it's right around Halloween. So
I mean, what are your glassing techniques? What do you do? Because I mean, that's primarily it, isn't it? It's spending as much time as you possibly can behind glass.
No question.
Yeah.
Before 2 days early, like you're saying, absolutely. If you don't have the time to scout, then I would put myself in situations first, right? And maybe a mix of like, I have a chance. I'm thinking they could be in this area, depending on all the data from earlier weather and things going on, and maybe some reports I've heard about the state and what's going on there. Like, I'll put myself out there and take a guess, kind of take a leap of faith before actually knowing where the deer are. But 2 days early, that's just, it is all glass.
Yeah, the boots on the ground, like you're saying, just glassing, moving around.
Yeah.
And then like being cognizant of what you're seeing, right? Like what elevation are the deer at?
Yeah.
Are you seeing a lot of does? Are you seeing a lot of little bucks? Are they rutting? And just kind of keeping that in the back of your head, and then putting yourself in the best position.
Yeah.
Like where the deer are. Like if I know there's a shit ton of does, like I'm seeing a ton of does, like sooner or later there's going to be a buck there.
I'm coming back and checking each pocket of doe I find in those 2 days with no bucks. I'm coming back and checking every other day, every third day kind of a thing.
Yeah, because you'll a buck will be in there sooner or later.
Get spooky after Halloween, man.
Yeah.
You never know.
What are you using for glass?
Oh, I got some big dogs for the truck.
Yeah.
15s.
15s?
Yeah, 15s window mount.
Yeah. I got BTX.
Yeah, he's got super big dogs.
I got neck issues
Do
from
you
my previous life. I can't
Spinal?
sit out of my
Spinal?
it's spinal for sure. Broke my back. No, I can't glass like that. It drives me nuts. So I'm always getting out of the truck, standing on the bed of the truck, getting a little extra, that extra 4 feet matters.
Does the BTX ever drive you nuts because it's so close? I mean, what's your process? Do you mount a set of 10s and scan the landscape and then throw BTX, or do you go straight to it?
No, I have 10s and a BTX, and I'll mount my 10s. Just kind of do the first pass of everything, the first big sweeps. If there's anything obvious, right? Like you don't really need anything past a 10 to find anything obvious. Not the best glasser on the planet, but if something's standing on a broad hillside, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of do that first pass, and if I need to start dissecting and looking into pockets of stuff, then I'll switch over to the BTX. Or if I find something and want to see what it is, I switch over to the BTX.
Yeah. Yeah, I do the same thing. I mean, I've got 10s. 15s are great. I mean, like I think I said in a previous podcast, probably one of the biggest, my heart really hurt is when I sold my SLC 15s. I wish I had those suckers back because they really are good for finding deer.
I was so committed to those things, and then 2 years ago, last year, so this is my second season, switching over to just straight 10s and BTX. Yeah, I'm good. I don't need those.
What do you think as like committing to like a spot
to an area
5 or 6 miles in versus moving around as much as possible and then deciding from there?
Man, it goes back to depends if you're 2 days early or if you're you don't have a lot of times you don't have that luxury of you can't miss the first 2 days. You can't miss 2 extra days of work on the front end of a hunt and then hunt the entire hunt most of the time.
Even if it was like if you had started the season, like some guy has never been in this area, do you think it'd be better for that person to go to the spot they had picked 6 miles in where they have to hike all the way in, or get a lay of the land for like the first 2 days and then decide from there?
Yeah, I think getting a lay of the land is always good. Drive the roads, look at country as much as you can. Look for deer. If you see something great, if not, keep moving. I'm guilty of picking a spot, like whether I've seen something or not, and committing to it and spending a week. And reality, there's so many times when I know I get towards the end of the week and I know for a fact that I should have pulled camp and I should have moved. Like I should have covered more ground than what I did. And a lot of the times I justify, I make excuses for myself like, it's so far, I'm seeing some deer here. But like reality is I wasn't seeing the thing that I was looking for. Like in my heart, I know I should have pulled stakes and moved on. I'm really guilty of that. Yeah, I would say don't do that.
Yeah.
I would say move country until you find the thing that you're looking for.
The last time I did that, Brandon and I went to Idaho, and it's one of our films. I can't remember the title of that one.
High and
Between
Dry.
Basins or something. High and Dry.
No,
One of
no,
those.
no.
Or Big Broken Country or something. It's one of those. Names.
What is it? Yeah, I know which one you
so
did like the general.
him and I, we didn't have time to scout. It was kind of a fill-in hunt for both of us, honestly. And it crazy cold snap. I mean, the first day we hiked in, when we left the truck, it was like 15 degrees. I mean, it was like a crazy cold snap for mid October. But we had already picked a spot. We had committed. We went clear back in there, and we saw some bucks. But the one big buck we saw was inaccessible from where we were. Mm-hmm. So, and we only had a 5-day hunt. It was, like I said, it was kind of a fill-in deal. We were just trying to figure it out. Fill our season in with something. And the one big buck we saw was to the south, miles across on this big snowy, like kind of shale face, big snowy thing. And we couldn't get to him from where we were. So like it was became a hunt of like, okay, do we stick it out in here because we're seeing little bucks, or should we pull, get to the truck, go there, and maybe we'll have 2 days to go kill that buck. And yeah, we committed for too long because we were seeing deer. Right?
Yeah,
like we were seeing bucks. We never saw anything past I think the biggest thing we saw was like a smaller 3x4, and the buck that we were seeing with glass from miles away was a clear, framey, like that was a buck we were there for. Like that was one we were after. And yeah, we only had 5 days, and we were committed. We were already in there. We were seeing deer, and again, we should have done the same thing. We should have pulled out. Definitely should have pulled out.
I think a lot of it depends on time frame. Like
Right, that's what I was
the end of October, those little bit earlier hunts. Like I can justify, I think, staying. Like if I saw a buck, I could make that move, and feel like I could kill him. You get into that November, it's such hit or miss. It can be so hard. I think last year or 2 years, I'm trying to remember if it was 2 years ago, but I took my kid to Colorado, and I saw a big buck in a pocket. And I hunted that same pocket for 3 days, morning, evening, never saw that buck again. And I think it was just that time of year where those bucks are moving and they're checking does. In the back of my mind, I kept thinking, I should move on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've checked here for,
Right.
2 more, a morning, a night, and a morning, and I'm not seeing him. Maybe check back periodically, but it's time to move on where I didn't. I just stayed with it. But it's hard. That's the first part of November is tricky.
Oh, it's extremely tricky.
How far do you think?
That's probably the trickiest
I agree.
part because we were mid-October, which we knew that deer was
going to be there probably.
Yeah. Now this gets into a whole other conversation. It's me and Brandon. We both have tags. So the conversation was, do we sell out, a day and a half of getting to that buck and only kill one deer, or do we stay in here where we're seeing a lot of deer and potentially both of us kill a buck, right? So it gets into partner hunting,
a value judgment.
Yeah,
there.
it's like, what do we do?
What's
One of
important to
us,
you?
do we go to it? So it was. We knew he was going to stay there. It was mid-October. The early November 1st time, like right after Halloween, it gets spooky, right? So it is hard to That's in my opinion, that is the toughest time. Like November 1st to the 10th or 11th, like that is the toughest.
Yeah, I remember, third season hunt several years ago, first week of November. Those bucks are kind of pre-rut. They're not really locked down on a doe. And I remember sitting on a canyon and watching this face, and I could see, different groups of does in this canyon, and watching a buck come over, basically walk between every group of does and just check those groups, and then just disappear. He's like, nope, not here. Nope, not here. Okay, I'm going to move on. That can be, man, that's hard.
That's tough.
So in November, obviously they're moving more often than October. How far do you think a mule deer
a buck will move?
How many miles are we talking?
I shot a collared buck in 2017. I always get my years mixed up. Life goes by so fucking, it's crazy. I believe it was 2017. I shot a collared buck in Colorado, and I turned in the collar. It came from, as a crow flies, 18 miles away. As a crow flies. And it left 4 or 5 days before the day I killed it, is when they had the data on it of it actually leaving and moving, and it was 18 miles as a crow flies. I don't want to give locations, but
yeah, that's crazy.
See, that's the one thing too that I think if you think about your strategy and how to hunt, right? So these mule deer, they're in the rut, they're moving a lot. So there's the strategy, if you sit and wait in the same basin long enough, that a mule deer will come in, a good buck will come into you eventually.
Maybe.
Or you keep moving and you're basically saying, I'm going to find this in a perfect spot.
Well, you're getting into different topography tactics there now. Yeah. Like Nevada, you hunt, if you are lucky enough to have one of those tags in Nevada that goes to, through the first week of November, it's like, dude, hearing about a buck in Nevada that traveled 15, 18, 20 miles is nothing, no big deal. Happens all the time. You talk to any one of these desert rat guys out here that, we all talk to. I mean, they're shooting bucks that travel so far, but that's what they have to do in the desert. I mean, there's just not a lot of does. When you start getting into Colorado and Wyoming and this big mountain country where there's does everywhere, there is the thought of maybe a buck will come into me. I don't think it's like Nevada or in Arizona or something like that where, a buck's truly moving. All the bucks are moving like that. I think it's kind of a one-off thing almost.
I think that's what's kind of exciting about this time of year, those November hunts, is you just never know.
Never know.
You could get up on any given day and see a buck you've never never dreamed of.
So you could
And
be driving the road at
I've
noon.
And it's like, where did you come from?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, how the hell did you get here?
We've all seen bucks. I haven't been fortunate enough, but I have buddies that have shot bucks from the road.
I've never shot one like that, but I've seen them cross on the road, and I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit, we got to find that deer.
Yeah.
Going back to glassing, one other point I was going to bring up, I think people have a tendency to, sleep in on a late hunt. It's freezing cold. They don't get to the glassing point until, well after light.
Brady?
Dude,
We did see Brady sleeping in on the last film that he was in. And it was cold.
never seen a guy sleep like that.
I see that all the time, though. So I would say, whether you're hunting early season or late season, be to wherever you want to be. Start glassing before light, 15 minutes before light, and stay till dark.
Man.
Yeah.
I saw so many guys in Idaho this last week that were, driving the roads. They were, back in camp, campfires going,
And it's
well
even if
before
you
dark.
don't shoot one, that like extra intel of
You're building.
right? You're seeing something at the very last light, like at least like you're in a good area, or you see a buck. You can make up a game plan for the next morning. You're setting yourself up better down the road.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a lot of the strategy in early season too is like you want to get in there way before light, let it calm down, right? Like let it get still again before the sun comes up and the deer start moving again. Because if you're driving your truck in there right at light, you're gonna kind of mess with the natural progression of what those deer are doing. Where in early season we all kind of know, like, get there an hour early, sit, let it get calm. I honestly think late season hunt is the same, which is it's tough to do because it's so damn cold outside, but it doesn't change the behavior of, just because it's cold doesn't make the deer like more laxed. If they see you coming in right at light, it's not gonna sit naturally like it would have if you would have been there, let it calm down, let the deer kind of
I think Neville makes a good point. I think a lot of times you'll see something right at last light
for sure,
and set yourself up for success the next day. I like to call it the slow play, and you're building intel. It might take
you are the slow play professional.
dude.
Yeah, it may take.
Let's just wait it out a little. It'll be here tomorrow. I thought you said they move 15 miles a day. It'll be here tomorrow.
Trail is the slow play.
It may take you 2 or 3 days to put together enough intel. We just got back from Idaho, like I said, and my brother was hunting. He really wanted to kill an elk, and very first day up in a basin, I glassed 3.5 miles away, and I see a herd of elk. So the next day we moved down on the opposite side of the ridge, glass back. Here's the elk, but we're half a mile instead of 3 miles. But still not close enough for a shot. We didn't really get into those basins and kind of figuring them out until like day 4 or 5. And then we're having elk at 140 yards. We never had a bull, but we had lots of cows within 140 yards. But it took me, like I said, 4 days to figure that out, to like know where the wind, best access, timing. So yeah, I like slow play.
Do you think does move a lot during the rut, or are they staying in the same area?
I think they're moving a little bit if you got weather, but I think I don't think they move a ton. Weather might force them out.
Yeah, I think they move, north slope to a south slope. It's kind of like what I've seen is what the does do.
Yeah, to me, I always be cognizant of where the does are.
Yeah.
Checking. So like Brady's giant buck that we shot, we were in Colorado. We looked at this basin 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
There's always does in it. Every single day. And it wasn't until the 6th day we came in there, same group of does, and there was a 200-inch buck sitting in there.
That's what we're talking about, checking does.
Yeah.
Like if you find a pocket of does, a good, healthy pocket of does, it's worth it to keep going back and checking.
Right.
If it's easy, like back on your way to camp, like that one was, where you could check it every single day, I would say, yeah, for sure, check it every single day. If it's not so easy, logistically, then check it every other day, every third day. Something's showing up.
Yeah,
Right.
Some of the best late season rifle guys that I know spend, their scouting days. They'll drive and scout, and they'll look for a buck, sure, but they're really definitely paying attention to
the
does,
Taking
especially in
inventory.
November. Yeah, taking inventory. And those guys, a lot of them just check those groups of does every day. They'll go from area to area to area to where they saw those does and check them every single day. And a lot of the time they aren't putting in a lot of work as far as like hiking. A lot of the time they're just cruising on a 4-wheeler, jumping off the 4-wheeler, hiking off to a knob, checking a basin real quick.
That's what I'm saying. I'm the world's greatest road hunter the first 2 days of a hunt. It's actually so Porter, helped me found this business, helped me build this business. He's been an amazing asset to us. It's his 40th birthday this year. I don't want to age him, but as a huge thank you to him, in the last 8 years him and I have spent together, I bought him a really good tag in Colorado. It's a third season tag. So right now our conversation is exactly what you just said. So he's kind of chomping at the bit, asking me every single day, what are we doing? Any this, any that. Like, look, we're getting there 2 days early, and all we're going to do is drive around and look for does. That's all we're doing, right? It's a third season hunt. And, yeah, I mean, all I'm doing, him and he's, you know, how you guys know how Porter is. It's kind of hard to.
He wants to know.
Oh, he wants to know everything. I keep telling him, like, we're just going to go hang out and bullshit and go find the does. We're going to take inventory. That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing is just taking inventory of where these does are, because we're going to get there on the 10th, which should be, you know, right when these bucks are getting closer to where they're going to be. I don't know if you agree with me. I think that 1st through the 10th is kind of the real hard guess.
Yeah,
right?
it's hard.
Once you break like the 10th plus, it kind of gets a little more set into place about which bucks are going to be in your area during your, you know, 5-7 day hunt, whatever it is. So I'm telling him, like, man, there's no plan. The plan is literally we're just going to drive around and go look for every single doe we can find. If we find a buck, great.
Yeah.
Like, awesome. We'll sit on it. I mean, if you find the one, I mean, how lucky is that to find it and just sit on them for 2 days and think about how great it's going to be when the sun comes up on opening morning.
Yeah.
Of course, right? Like, everybody, you hope that happens.
Yeah.
But we're not going out there with those intentions. I mean, we're going out there. I have 3 glassing spots I've kind of, you know, already pre-marked. All 3 of us are going to split up. We're going to go sit on those morning and night and count the does, or that night we get there, and then the next morning we'll kind of drive the roads, go back and check, take more inventory. It's exactly what we're doing. It's all does.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. It's a stellar tactic if you've got that November hunt. If you can do it, you know, just check, be aware of the does. And like I said, I'm not great at it. Sometimes I get locked down in an area, but some of the best guys I know, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They cover country. They look for does.
Well, where we're hunting too, there's no like true, like, broken high country. A lot of oaky, a lot of brushy stuff. That's the rut hunting there is incredible, and the reason for it is you never know what's going to show up out of these bushes that are staged up, right? It's like, so I mean, to go think you're going to find the one in 1 day of scouting when there's all that covered brush, right? Like, no, check the does and wait for something to come out of the brush.
Yep. Do you guys approach like spot and stock? I mean, it's mostly spot and stock, right? So you're covering country, you're glassing, you know, you're looking for does. You know, the actual, like, making the shot, do you approach that differently than you do with like an archery hunt, or is it pretty much the same? I mean, are you more aggressive?
Oh yeah, probably. I'd say more aggressive. So, I mean, you got a gun, so you can shoot further. But I think some people are like a little lax on like how they're approaching the animal.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I'm 500, 700 yards away. I can just waltz up here. I feel like if it's a big buck, that thing is gone. Like,
yeah, I want to say, again, it depends, and I don't want to, you know, but there's so much that goes into it, I think, which, you know, is the buck you found that you want and you want to stalk, is it locked down? Is it locked onto one doe? Like, is his body language like it's one doe? It's got his nose up her ass the entire morning, the entire time you're watching him. If so, that buck's going to be there for a while, right? And then you can really kind of game plan what's the best way to get in there. I want a 300-yard shot. Just make sure everything falls into place and you're going to get that buck killed. Now, if it's more, you know, he's checking all the does, he's not really interested in one, just kind of trying to see if one's hot, trying to figure out what's going on. I think that puts the pressure on where you're like, I'm in, like full send,
Right.
just go get high country or high ground on him and try to get a shot. I think it changes on the body language of the buck itself that you're trying to kill.
Yeah.
It's like that antelope I just killed. You know, he was so locked onto one doe. It was one doe and one doe only. He fought off 2 other smaller bucks that and I hate to compare a mule deer to an antelope, but rut is fairly similar, right? Once they get locked down on one, it's kind of a doe and him aren't going anywhere, right? So it's kind of that body language of the buck is what I would pay attention to first, whether it was kind of a slow play, make sure you get a 300-yard shot, or a full send and get him killed no matter what. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, I would say I'm a lot more aggressive with a rifle. Like, if I see a buck, I'm going like that moment. Whereas with a bow in my hand, I may sit down and, you know, watch,
really think about
you know, where is that thing going. Whereas I feel like with a mule deer, if I see it, I'm going.
Especially a big one.
Yeah,
it's just so few and far between, and they're so smart. They've made it through how many seasons? Like, you're not going to outthink them. Just go.
Yeah.
Just run.
Just do
Just
it.
go.
I think a lot of people are too patient, even with a rifle in their hand. I think they sit and they look at a buck. Oh, I'd love to take that buck, but he's 2 miles away, or he's a mile and a half away.
Yeah.
I can't make it there.
There's only an hour of light. Like,
Oh, I see that one.
Full send.
I see that one all the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's with any
Yeah.
animal. It's always like it's so far. It's gonna be so hard. Like, no way.
and there's only an hour and a half of light.
Like, what are your chances that it works out? It's like, if you think like that, then you're setting yourself up for it not to happen.
Really, like, what is the average pace a mile in the mountains? Like, not yours or Brady's or
Mine's
even
not
like
that
ours.
fast.
But like, what's the average pace? How many?
Like
30
3
minutes
miles. Yeah, I mean, it's probably 2.5, 3 miles an hour. I'd say
an hour, right?
Yeah.
So it's like when people say, "Oh, there's only an hour and a half left. He's 2 miles away." Yeah, it's perfect.
Yep.
Like, you're gonna get him killed.
Right.
But you hear it a lot and you see it a lot where people kind of lax and they're like, "Oh, I'll come back tomorrow.
I'd
got a gun in my hand. I can still get him killed."
I'd rather get there within 800 yards and find out that I ran out of light and didn't get a shot.
And see exactly where he tucks in for the night.
Yeah. Or not, than just sit there from a mile and not get a shot at all.
Yeah. It's way
Totally
easier.
agree.
It's way easier to talk yourself into like why you shouldn't do it instead of just
doing
it.
Just full send.
Like, you just always think about it's like, I'm out here. Like, this is what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
Right. I took my week off to hunt. Like, I'm gonna hunt as hard as I can.
Well, then late season hunts too. I think a lot of it comes in the confidence of your gear too. It's like, you don't want to get stuck out there, dark, sweaty. I mean, if you got confidence in your gear though, like, send it, go for it.
Do you have
right?
everything that you need?
Yeah. Take everything you're gonna need to get back safely. Obviously, you know it's cold. You know it's getting dark quick.
Mm-hmm.
Just.
Do you feel like people get sloppy with like their other senses, with sight and sound, or sight, sound, and smell with a rifle?
I think they get really sloppy with smell.
I do.
All that.
Really sloppy.
Yeah, even sight. I mean, I can think of a situation the last couple of years. I had a buck bedded at the edge of a clearing, and I remember kind of sneaking up to this knob and ranged him. He's 510 yards, and I remember thinking, I can stand up. I can stretch her out a little bit. That guy he busted me just that quick, and he was gone. I think people can get sloppy with the distance that a rifle gives you.
Right.
Within 500 yards, it's a makeable shot. I've got all kinds of room to, the wind doesn't matter. It totally matters. I mean, we got busted last week by a herd of elk. We were probably 600, 700 yards.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a stiff wind. It was a breeze.
Right.
I mean I mean, you're dealing with that time of year. You're dealing with so many eyes, so many noses.
Mm-hmm.
Set off one of the, however many you see in the group, and it's over. It's like, it's not just the one buck you're after. It could be the 10 does he's with too. If you just piss off one of the does or make one of the does a little cagey, it's over.
It's always those dang does.
Always, man.
And they're a little on high alert compared to different times. I mean, it's rifle hunting season. Like, they've been shot at. They've heard gunshots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had that.
They've
same
been chased
thing,
for a while going
same
into
thing
November.
happened.
I mean, you think they've seen a lot of shit by the time November
Oh yeah,
gets here.
they're 3 or 4 hunts deep in some cases.
Oh,
You just gotta hunt with
rough.
Brady a couple times, and
Yeah.
he'll yell at you if you're standing up too high, or like if you're.
dude,
when
he's dedicated to the grind. That's
when
for
he
sure.
sees, I remember, cameraman, you just better get your shit in order.
I drank
He
too much
will-
water. I'll be right back.
He will let you have it. So like, there's been before Colorado Mather and like going over the top of this hill, sees a good buck. It's like 700 yards. Like, he's like, looks at us both dead, and he's like, "You guys need to stay as low as possible when we're walking down over here."
Yeah.
And he looks back, and there's Mather just standing straight up, and then that buck just goes, gone.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, myself included, I think people get sloppy on rifle hunts because they assume that, they can be. Like, oh, that deer is 700 yards. I can skylight myself and,
Right.
I don't have to pay attention to wind like I would or, whatever it is, or sound. You get within 150, 200 yards, like, oh, I can just be, cruising through the oak brush, making all kinds of noise, and it doesn't matter. But I don't think that's the case. And, I mean, I have plenty of examples that I could point to where, I got busted when I shouldn't have, just being stupid.
Goners.
Yeah. Man, there's nothing worse than nothing makes you feel as small, like a incompetent hunter than getting busted with a rifle in your hand at 500 yards.
Oh my God.
Just because
Terrible. It's
you were
like, what am I doing?
just because you were so sloppy.
You've been archery hunting all year long. Just trying to get to 20 yards.
That's what it is. I think all my patience is wore out by the time I get to a rifle season.
Yeah, I'm just ready to launch.
I'm just
bombs.
ready to launch bombs and not care as much.
Oh man, that's what happens.
Yeah. What? I mean, talking about weapons, rifles. You're a big rifle. You like rifle? You like rifle
I
hunting?
wouldn't say I'm a big rifle guy, but
Do you like
yeah,
it?
I like rifle hunting. Yeah, but I'm kind of I'm pretty like seasonal
just
guy
whatever's in season.
for how I feel. Like, September I'm like full on. All I care about elk hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And once the late season starts to kick in, the rut starts to kick in. I want to shoot deer.
Yeah.
So I mean, I kind of have to put a rifle in my hand because that's what everyone's hunting with. But yeah, I don't mind shooting rifles. I go out and shoot with Brady a lot. So I mean, that's what's helped. Because my background, I haven't had hardly any experience with rifles.
Yeah, me either. I grew up rifle hunting,
and I still don't know like a shit ton about rifles.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of my knowledge, I just have like talked to Brady about. And now that I have my gun so dialed, like I just use the same gun every year because I know it so well. I've shot a bunch of stuff with it, all the yardages, all the distances, like.
Yeah.
So I just feel super comfortable with that gun. So I just take the same gun out. But I will say on my first rifle hunt I went on was with Brady, and like definitely should have practiced. Like I see a deer, now I need to get set up on my gun. The first time I did it, I'm like, what in the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm like, bipods coming down. Like, you can't even get,
panic mode.
It's the typical,
full panic
I can't
mode.
see it through my scope. You know what I mean? It's like shit like that.
Like you're a 10-year-old, you can't find
Yeah.
it in your scope.
Man.
It's just doing that kind of stuff.
How
like
many stories have you guys heard about a giant buck that doesn't get killed because they can't find it in the scope?
Yeah.
A wife or a kid or just
or
a
a
passive
buddy.
hunter or a buddy.
Dude,
Yeah.
but that all just comes down to like being super familiar with your
Yeah.
equipment, right? So like oh, I need to zoom out my scope, or I need to change my focus on my scope. You know exactly how your bipod goes down.
Yeah.
And all that's just like even on this Wyoming elk hunt I just got back on, like I gave my brother my gun to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, here, just use my gun. Like it's dialed in 300 yards. Like you're perfect. And he shot plenty of stuff with rifles. And he was like, because it's a different gun.
Foreign to him.
Yeah, he's not
Different gear.
familiar with it.
Yeah.
Like his sight works different than my sight.
Yeah.
I've been guilty of this, and I hate it about myself. And I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I think people, they look at a rifle hunt like the hardest part of that hunt is everything that goes up into the point to where you shoot.
Yeah.
And I think you think that it's automatic. Like you get within
Right.
range, you get a rifle that's sighted in, like this is over and a done deal.
Yeah.
And I've taken that approach, and I've taken it for granted, and I've missed some opportunities because I don't put the time and effort into actually knowing my weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we know Brady. I don't know how many rounds do you think Brady puts down range?
Well, Brady is just so disciplined with it, and that's what he gets into, like
He
with
is.
the gear and knowing your gun. It's like, you can compare it to anything else where you have a system, right? Like you have a go-to system every time, which I have a go-to system every time with my gun that I like. The bipod, I take my chest rig off. I use that as a backrest. So chest rig comes off. I love laying down.
But
bipod
how much do you practice that? Do you
Not very much, but I've done it. It's like the only way I
Yeah.
know how to do it,
Gotcha.
right? If I were to have somebody's gun, somebody hands me
Right.
their gun, and I haven't practiced with it, I didn't already have my chest rig on, whatever it was, yeah, I'd be lost.
Yeah,
but Brady,
point is I don't ever. I hardly ever. My brother,
Really?
I just took him. No, very rarely. Like my brother, I just took him. Like, I'm like, okay, lay the gun in this tripod. Take your backpack, pull it up against your chest,
Yeah.
rest the butt of the rifle. Like, I don't think people practice that stuff.
No.
And that's where Brady's super disciplined. Is he's not only disciplined with like just shooting, like he shoots regularly, but he shoots like you asked how many rounds he has downrange.
Mm-hmm.
Not a ton, because he's so pragmatic about like, I'm going to go to the range, I'm going to shoot 4 shots. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. I'm going to shoot 4 shots. Let the barrel cool 5 to 7 minutes between each shot.
Yeah, quality.
Practice prone, practice sitting with the backpack on my chest, and right, like he shoots so much. If he's not shooting well, he just comes back the next day. He's very pragmatic. He doesn't send 40 bullets down range and one day building all kinds of bad habits on a bad day.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so pragmatic about it. That's why he's so good.
I mean, I think a lot of his stuff that he's like I don't think he does a lot of like goes out and practice like situations like where he's standing glassing. Like I think he knows that like so good because he's done it so many times. Now he's like so particular on the bullet missing at an inch at 500 yards, like in figuring out what his load was in that bullet. So that's what he has to. He shoots a shit ton just to find like the best bullet for the like. He's making the ultimate rifle setup. So like the more mistakes he has, like his gun's gonna cover a little bit of that up because his gun is so accurate.
Well, he knows he's so accurate, right? Every gun is, for the most part, right? Obviously, you get some wild guns out there, but for the most part, right? I mean, everyone's shooting decently sub MOA.
His is definitely the most accurate.
His is probably
his dials when he's dialing in like that thing. It's
insane.
Meant to hit that dot.
But he is accurate though too.
Right.
Like he doesn't have a pull in his shot. He doesn't have a cant in his hand. He doesn't like none of that. None of that's he doesn't have any of it. So yeah, like practicing situationally for him doesn't mean as much because he's so dialed with everything else that he himself and the gun both will cover a shot maybe that he's never made before. Right?
I think a lot of that stuff too. Like I've learned from Brady, that's made a big difference. Is the way you're laying on the ground, the way you're holding your gun. Like it's the same thing with a bow, right? Like you don't want to torque your bow when you shoot. It's the same thing with the gun. Like don't have your hand wrapped over the gun if you're shooting.
The hand can't.
Like keep your hand off to the side and it's just the tip of your finger.
I did that Gunworks long range class and I learned so much through that course. It was 3 days. I mean, I wish it was like, it's not easy to go do those things though. You know what I mean? Like I had to go clear to Wyoming to do it. It's not easy. It's like you definitely take time, and fortunately it is kind of part of my job to go do that. So I got to do it as part of as part of work, which is what I'm so fortunate to be doing, with GOHUNT in my life, is to go do those things. But man, like huge difference just in 4 days.
You don't even have to be professional at doing it. Like
no,
you just have the knowledge of doing that.
Learning
like,
how to lay.
Your chances at shooting something at 600 yards and being more accurate.
Yeah, knowing how to lay on the gun, and knowing hand placement on the gun, and knowing your parallax adjustments, proper parallax adjustments, like makes all the difference in the world, right?
Yeah, and whether you go to a shooting school or if you just want to do your research, I mean, there's plenty of resources on YouTube. Yeah. All this stuff exists.
Of course.
Yeah.
But point being, you have to do it, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't, myself included, because they think, I've got this gun. I sat here in a lead sled in my local range at 200 yards, and I shot
and it's on.
a 1-inch group, and it's on. And now I'm good, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge mistake.
One of the biggest things I learned was the parallax adjustments. So when I was at that Gunworks school, so what happens is when you're shooting on a lead sled and you're I don't know the proper terminology here, but like your pupil is straight into the gun when you're on a lead sled. So there's no there's no angle of your pupil looking into the glass down or up.
You don't get those little vignettes out to the sides.
So when you are laying down or you are on your knee or you are shooting uphill, whatever it is, you look, the crosshairs look like they're set and they look like they're on the animal. But what they teach you to do is just kind of like do a yes motion on the stock. And if your horizontal bar in your scope is moving up or down, then your parallax is off. So you have to start adjusting your parallax to get that when you're doing that yes motion with your head. If it'll sit and it's not moving when your pupil is moving up and down on that glass, okay, now there is no illusion of, like you actually could be looking with your crosshairs higher or lower than they actually look to be if your parallax isn't adjusted properly. And that's what a lot of people don't understand when they go to the range at 200 yards and everything is perfect.
Right.
And they're drilling paper at 400 yards, perfect out of a lead sled. Okay, well, what if you're looking down into that glass just a little bit? Like that stuff matters. Like you're changing angles of how you're seeing everything. And optically it could look good, but like tactically and in real practice, it's maybe not lined up like you think it is.
Yeah.
I think too it comes down to how far do you want to shoot? Like what's your max? I mean, once you start getting over 400 yards, like there's things you need to think about.
Well, that's like the question: is how far do you want to shoot?
To 300 yards,
as far as you can, right?
Right.
As far as you need to get something killed.
Yeah. Like I know a lot of people are like, I'm not shooting over 300 yards. Whereas like.
But are they saying that because they haven't done
that
due diligence to be able to shoot over 300 yards? That's the thing about Brady is I feel like that guy can very, very confidently get in position and take a 600-yard shot and know for 100% that that's a dead animal.
Brady telling me he took a 700-yard shot is like, you know.
You almost take for granted how far it is. I'm like,
it's like me saying I took a 300-yard shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
like
a layup for him.
It's such a layup for him. It's crazy.
But how cool is it that he can do that?
Right.
And know he can do it.
And know he can do it.
Yeah, super.
And there's a lot of
super
people,
efficient.
that can do that. But I think, man, there's nothing worse than being out in the field and an animal is right, 700, 600 yards, even 500 yards.
And you have that thought, should I do it?
Yeah,
Can
should I do it?
Can
I do it? I probably can't make that
And
shot.
with
but man,
Brady, it's just dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah,
I mean, your chances of being more successful the better you are with your weapon goes hand in hand.
It is. It's that laxed thing, though, with a rifle. A rut, they're going to be dumb.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're going to be
gun.
love drunk.
All I
it's
do
a
is
gun.
have to hit it. It'll die.
Bullets are expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, and I see that all the time. Like I said, myself included, I'm guilty of this. I want to get better at it because I do definitely see the advantages of it. And rifle hunting, especially like that October, November time frame. I mean, maybe you're hunting mule deer, maybe you're hunting elk. Like, it can be really challenging, and it can be really hard.
Yeah.
You can go for days and days and days without an opportunity. And when that opportunity presents itself, I'd like to be better capable of actually taking it
For
and
sure.
making it.
Yeah.
What do you like for guns as far as calibers?
Oh, God. I mean, I like big calibers,
You
but
do
that's just
too.
because Brady tells me that.
I think calibers
What do you shoot?
Calibers are interesting. I was on here last time making a golf reference, and I'm going to make another one, so piss a lot of people off. But it's like,
golf.
everyone has the one club in their bag that they're just like confident with. I feel like gun calibers are kind of the same way, and it's not that you're so much more confident in it. It's you remember all of the good shots you've had with that. It just kind of stands out. The good things of that particular club stand out. And I think gun calibers are very similar, where your favorite caliber is the one you've had the best outcomes with. That doesn't necessarily mean it's always on the caliber, right? It could be so many different variables and factors that go into like being successful when you had that gun in your hand. And for me, I know I am biased because of that. So mine is I shoot a 28 Nosler at almost everything. I shoot a 6.5 284 at antelope and some of the smaller stuff, and 28 is everything I shoot at, all the big animals.
Why do people hate the 6.5 so much for deer and elk?
I don't know.
People
I mean,
hate
I would happily
There's a billion
shoot.
memes on social media about the 6.5.
I would happily
Dude,
shoot my 6.5 284 at a deer, like no problem.
Yeah.
It's just something about like.
Dude, it's the same thing with like arrow weight.
Yeah.
I look at it as the same thing. Like, you can't shoot a 350
Grain arrow.
grain arrow at an elk, or you can't shoot a 400. Like, you need a way bigger arrow.
Yeah. It's the same thing. I just say
as long as it shoots where you want it to, I think you're going to be pretty damn
And I think
good.
it's that bias of like what have you had, what like pulls your positive confidence, what caliber pulls that from you.
Yeah.
And it's the one that you've had the best experiences with. And I feel like that's what it is with gun calibers. So many guns can do the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it as, if I'm going out with a gun, like, I'm not here to track that son of a bitch. Like, I want that thing to drop.
Tip over.
Like, I've been,
but then
all I do is shoot archery. Like, I've tracked
then it
enough
gets
animals.
into-
Like, I'm going out with a gun. Like, if I hit it where,
Then it
I
gets
don't want
into,
it to go far.
well, really, big guns don't matter at that rate. It's all about the bullet performance. So, like, what bullet tip are you shooting? Like, that's much more important in dropping an animal than the actual size of the
heavy ass bullet. 200 grain.
But then it gets into like
300 would make.
which tip
Yeah.
though? Like, you're shooting the VLDs, you're shooting God, what's the other one? What's the one Brady shoots? ELDX or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I shoot,
like,
the Hornady ELDX.
It's I don't know. It gets into, there's so many other factors than just like a big gun. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of the times, like Porter, for example, I mean, he'll tell everyone himself too, is like, he didn't grow up around guns, especially big guns, and the noise and caliber and back pressure from shooting big guns. I mean, it's like, would you rather?
Baby.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
Would you rather shoot that, or would you rather shoot the one that you were just so comfortable behind?
Yeah,
you're not going to jump it. You're not thinking about like this headache you're going to have for the next 4 days because you don't have time to put your earplugs in, which happens
all the time.
It's like
Every
my wife
time.
comes home, or I come home and I complain to my wife about my ears ringing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're such an idiot. What? Well, I would love to tell the animal to just like, hey,
Can you just
real
pause?
Give me a
quick,
second.
wait, you
My
know?
hearing needs protection.
I mean, the last thing I care about when I got something I want to kill in front of me is my hearing. Like, you
yeah.
I'll go deaf.
know? Yeah, like it's not really what I'm caring about. And that's when it gets into like what's comfortable.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
learned
like
I learned a
shooting?
hard lesson with my oldest boy. You know, he's got a 25-06. It's a little stainless Stalker Browning gun, phenomenal gun, shoots it really, really well. You know, he had an elk tag 2 years ago. I took him on an elk hunt, and I kind of fell into that trap. You know, like, oh, he needs a bigger gun, right? So
Yeah.
we took my 28 Nosler. You know, we took him to the range. He shot it okay out of, like I said, a lead sled, no big deal. Shot great, but we got into the field like he was scared of that gun.
Yeah.
You know, and he missed a shot at like 90 yards, kind of downhill. You know, he's also missed an antelope one time where I needed. You know, it was the same situation. We were on like this little sliver of public between two hunks of private, and I was like, we've got to, you know, you got to anchor that buck.
Yeah.
We need him to go down, you know, here within, you know, reason, maybe 200, 300 yards either side.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to really anchor that buck here, shoot my 28 Nosler, and he missed that buck. He missed that bull.
Yep.
And I've seen him make shots with his 25-06 that, you know, we're just like, wow. I mean, he shoots that gun damn well.
It's
And
that club in his bag. The one he
Yeah,
just
yeah.
knows he's comfortable with.
he's comfortable. He's
Yeah.
confident in it, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, looking back on that, I agree. You know, shoot the caliber, shoot the gun that you
Yeah.
feel if it's comfortable.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There's
mean-
nothing worse than standing on the golf course and like, it's this yardage, and you're like, fuck, I hate that club. Right? It's like that's the worst
Mhm.
feeling ever. Whereas, you know, you're like, oh God, I love this shot. I can't. You have so much confidence going into it. It's the
Mhm.
same thing with hunting and shooting these guns. Where, you know, your boy, if he pulls that gun out, he's like, oh yeah, I'm
Yeah,
good.
I'm done. This is
It's
over.
and then if you
Mhm.
hand him your 28, he's gonna go, fuck, I've missed 2 animals
Yep.
with it. You know, I don't like shooting it. That's gonna be his first thought before he even gets in the gun.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
good. You know.
Yeah, and I think here we did like
That's a reason why I like a caliber that I can shoot anything, from the biggest animal to the smallest.
yeah.
Animal. Like
Yeah.
a 28 Nosler or 300 Win Mag. Like those are good calibers that you can shoot the whole gamut of animals. So you're allowed to use the same gun on every hunt that
Yeah.
you go on if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't ever have to change my gun. I use the same gun for every hunt.
I mean, my brother loves his 6.5 284, and I got video proof of this. 680 yards and he shot a giant bull in the rut,
Right.
and it did a backflip right where he stood.
Yeah.
6.5 284. It's like, you know,
Right.
that's
impossible according to the internet.
impossible, and
Impossible.
that's a Coues deer antelope killer, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what that's seen as. My brother loves that gun. It's the one he's like, oh yeah, I'm making that shot. How far? No problem.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of guys that like I said, one of my favorite calibers is for my kid. You know, is that 25-06, and I know I have a lot of buddies locally that shoot a 25-06 for mule deer, and they love
Yeah.
it. You know,
Yeah.
and they shoot really, really well. You know, I
Great
had a-
bullet performance. That's one
Yeah.
really good thing on
And I-
25-06.
You know, we did a little Instagram Q&A, and I brought that up, and Brady I thought he was, you know, his jaw was gonna
Dude, Brady's
hit the floor. I thought he was
what's
gonna
funny
die.
about Brady is
Brady's
he's
favorite
like
caliber is 300 Win Mag.
Oh yeah,
in the heaviest, biggest everything, right?
Yeah.
Fastest ballistic. So he pushes the limits on everything for weight and speed and all this stuff. And he's always like his saying around here when we talk about little guns is like, don't you just want to know if you hit it in the hoof, it's going down? It's like
That's me too.
It's like Brady.
I've taken exactly what Brady said. I said that sounds nice.
I know, but when is Brady?
Ever gonna
You know what I mean?
right.
It's like Brady is so beyond that. It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
but it's his confidence thing. It's the gun he pulls out, and he's like, "Yep, where is it? How far? No
Yeah.
problem."
Yeah, I'm not a super like gun nerd and like understand all the different this that. It's just I have a setup. I've used it for a long ass time, and I've
Yeah.
yet to have any problems. So I just keep using it.
Yeah,
yeah. Get something that you're confident in and shoots well. And I think once you get a couple under your belt with it, your confidence just goes up and up and up.
it's the first thought you have when you get that
Yeah,
gun is, "Yep, where is he?" Like that's the thought. That's when you know if you're shooting the right gun, in my opinion. Right? Again, comparing it to golf, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, old man,
Yep.
unathletic sport. But I mean, it's mentally though. It's you know you're shooting the right gun when your first thought is like, "Yep, where is he? Let's
Yeah.
let's get it done." And aside from like, "Oh God, where's my ear? Do I have my ears? Don't have my ears? Oh God, right? Like
Yeah.
you start having these other thoughts in your head. That's when you know you're not shooting the right gun.
Yeah. Do you think I've been thinking, because Neville and I have been talking a little shit. I think he and I both are like, I'm not a great rifle deer hunter, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
I started thinking about it, and it's been a long time since I killed a 182-inch buck, but it's been probably 15 years ago with a rifle. Everything else has been early season. It's been muzzleloader archery stuff. What makes a person a good rifle mule deer hunter? What makes Brady a good rifle mule deer hunter? Do you guys think about that? Like, what is it? Because there's definitely a skill set.
I definitely think about it for sure.
Persistence. He's a persistent motherfucker.
I think persistence is not there. I don't think that is. Persistence is like you can talk yourself into persistence, and then there's like a skill set, right? Like, do you have these particular skill sets? And I think those skill sets, it's just like any skilled position in any sports or anything. It's like the more you do it,
right,
the more you build this skill set, right? So it's like experience is the main thing. I mean, that's an archery hunting, that's an all hunting, right? Just experiences.
The more you do it,
right? And then I also think like where you really become the Brady, the Ryan Lampers of mule deer hunting is when you know the balance of like aggression and weight with that rifle in your hand, because a lot of people get over aggressive or they get under aggressive, and it's like that having that gun in your hand kind of sets that, like, you a lot of people get super lax. Oh, I got a gun, we'll come back tomorrow. And
it's even just knowing where to go. Where do you think the mule, like, they have so much years of knowledge of
knowledge to put together,
like looking at a mountain saying,
but the success
the chances of being a big buck today are probably pretty high compared to this mountain over
but
here.
The success of always killing good deer with your gun is like, that is a very particular skill set in my mind. And I think it's that understanding of the perfect balance of aggression and patience, right? Bow, everybody, it's a game of patience, right? That's all it is. 10 stocks, don't ever blow them. One of those stocks is going to work out as long as you don't blow them. You get to 100 yards 10 times, one of those times he's going to get into shooting range. Just push it to that 100-yard mark. One day he's going to make a mistake and cut it to 60 for you, and you're going to get a shot. It's a game of patience and patience only. Rifles is like either full-blown aggression where people are just going, don't care about skyline and don't care about smell, don't care about anything, and they're over-aggressive and push things to the limit where they can't really ever get, maybe the deer or elk, whatever it is on high alert when you're trying to make the shot, which is always a pressure situation. If you have the right amount of like aggression towards getting it done, but the right amount of patience to keep things calm at the same time, I think that is that perfect mix of being a Brady or Ryan Lampers with a gun.
I think they do a lot of things that most people wouldn't do too. They go to a lot of places most people wouldn't go. If they see a deer 10 miles away, like, they don't have one single thought in their head like, we're not going.
Yeah.
Like,
that's that aggression I'm talking about with
like,
a gun, though, is they know they can go get it done, so they have that confidence to like just go. But then when they get in there, then it's like that perfect amount of back off to not over push it to where everything's on high alert. You're making a running shot. Maybe you push that deer from 500 to 800. Now he's out of your range. Like, you just did all that work you could have had him in range if you just like backed off just a little bit, been a little more tactical and situational in what's going on. I think that's what it is.
One thing I was thinking about in regards to that question is a lot of the guys that I know that are good rifle mule deer hunters. I mean, in a lot of cases, they're hunting units that aren't premium, prime units. They're general season type hunts. One thing I think about those guys is they have the ability to not get frustrated with hunting pressure. It almost rolls off them like water on a duck's back. Like, they can see a bunch of trucks, a bunch of different orange, a bunch of people all over the place, and they don't panic. They don't lose their head.
Yep.
It doesn't bother them at all. They just adjust and they move on, and they know what to do, right?
That's a really good point, and that's where I struggle.
Me too.
Yeah.
I do too.
I struggle so hard with that.
Yeah, I start seeing the other thing about a lot of those types of people is they have they're good at road hunting. It sounds funny, but they're good at day hunting from a base camp, and they're moving out to like some point, and they may only be going a half a mile and glassing a basin. They're seeing other people, they're seeing hunting pressure, but they just like move and adapt, and they're okay. And like, I struggle with that type of hunting because like I get super frustrated. I start seeing people.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and that is my biggest downfall of rifle hunting. And then you hear 2 or 3 shots, and you're like, "Fuck, I got to get out of here.
Well,
This is
I mean,
ridiculous."
yeah, I
but
gotta
they
go-
didn't kill
I-
your. You know, they didn't kill the buck you saw or the one you're after.
I got to go find someplace else.
Yeah,
I got to
it's
get
like-
farther away.
Exactly.
I got to.
Grading and lampers will tell you the same exact thing.
That's where I struggle
They hate
the most.
seeing people too.
I know, but they will
they
stick
go
it
to
out, though.
places that you would never go to.
Yeah, I think there's both types though.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there is the ability, like people like Brady or Lampers, that are willing to like go out clear that nobody else will go. Because there's just no access, there's no water, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But then I know some really good mule deer hunters that are just totally okay
Right.
hunting in the complete thick of it.
Yeah.
And just
Dude, I
not
know.
getting frustrating and just adapting
Yeah.
and doing their thing day in and day out.
Some of the most famous big mule deer killers are exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
I am
exactly
terrible
that.
at that.
I'm terrible at that too.
I'm a terrible truck hunter. I'm terrible hunting around people.
You know who's
Shit.
really good at that? Is Greg Crow.
Yeah.
You guys know that
yeah.
name?
Yeah.
Man,
I agree.
that is where he is so good.
There's a lot of guys out there that are like that.
Man, he's so good at that.
It's like they almost they understand the pressure and they're so good at reading where the pressure is going to like push animals to.
That's where, and
like
that's
they
where
know exactly where to look. They're
I
like,
hope Greg doesn't mind me bringing him up and talking about it, but that's where he shines. Like he just has a level up on everyone to understand how this mature buck that he knows of and has been watching is going to react about the pressure. These guys around him don't know about this deer,
Mhm.
right? And he knows that type of stuff, and he will stick it out in the middle of the mix, and man, he gets a lot of deer killed.
Yeah, I think
His guys get a lot of deer
mule
killed.
deer hunting late season. It's all about patience and then knowing when to make the move when you make it. It takes a lot
Yeah.
of patience to sit behind your glass day in day out.
Man.
It takes a lot of patience to put up with a lot of hunting pressure.
When I was a young kid hunting Nevada, I hunted 43 days in a row in Nevada, in a pretty known unit. Quite a few tags, right? I would see Greg behind the glass all day, every day.
Yeah.
Never flustered, and I'm a young kid, and I am just bombing, bouncing around. And every time I go, I'm like, God, he's still
Still there.
right there, you know?
Yeah.
And like, that's why I know Greg is good at this. I have so much experience just crossing paths with him, just like, and he's always just stayed that course.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably thinking in his head, it's like, I'm way better at glassing than all these other idiots
And
out
just
here.
better at hunting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not getting
that
worried
guy's-
of like these people out here who probably aren't going to be successful.
Like me.
Like they're
Like
probably
he's probably thinking about it, like, what is this
Yeah.
idiot doing? I've seen
Like
his truck 17 times in 4 days, and he's always moving. Like, why? What is he
Yep.
doing?
I feel like those guys are like, I could sit here and look at the same hillside as this guy over here, but I'm going to find that deer first, and
Yeah.
I'm going to see it before you even get close.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good skill though.
Yeah.
I mean, Greg Crow and Jack Brittingham, that duo, they have killed
Yep.
some of the biggest, baddest animals in the middle of just the normal stuff.
Yep.
Just doing things that 99.9% of people aren't willing to do, obviously.
Mm.
Or
Right?
don't-
Like
just
us,
don't know
like
how
me and
to
you,
do.
when I see that and I'm like, man, I'm out of here. Well,
Yeah.
they will just stick it out day in and day out just in the middle of it.
Yeah. You guys got late. You're going with Porter? We
Yeah,
got
I don't have a late season
no-
hunt myself.
No
but
late
I'm
season tag
taking
this year.
Porter, him and I, believe it or not, I've been on one hunt with that guy. I've taken him hunting one time. We
Mhm.
started this business together in late 2013, built a business out of it, launched 2015. So him and I go back to 2013, even though the business is 2015. But the only hunt I've taken him on or like been with him on was a muzzleload hunt in Nevada. That was
Mhm.
it. So him and I, he's, I'm going to make myself sound cooler than I actually am, but like he's been begging me to take him hunting. Well, you just, when you're around people all the time, you want to go hunting
Right.
with them, right?
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, well, I know the reason. Him and I, back when we started this business, we made an agreement that like we cannot be out of the office at the same time. Like this business comes first, right?
Right.
Like we can never be out at the same time. If I'm gone, you have to be here. If you're gone, we'll hold down the ship, right?
Mhm.
And that's how it's always been. And now we're to a point where we can be out together. And, as a massive thank you for everything he's done, I, got him into this hunt in Colorado, surprised him with it, 40th birthday. And yeah, so I'm taking him on as like,
That'd be
this is the
good.
first real hunt. I mean, that muzzleload hunt was over the weekend.
Right.
It was one pocketed deer we hunted, and that was it. Like, there was really not much going on.
Is it a third season tag?
Yeah, third season tag. Yep.
Yeah,
Get there 2 days early.
it'd be good.
Exactly what we were talking about in the beginning.
Mhm.
I mean, it's 2 days early, and the game plan is, find the does.
Yeah.
It's been a good summer.
Yeah.
Been a good early winter. Yeah.
Should be a good year.
It's all about finding the does. So yeah, that's the hunt I have. What about you guys?
I've got a Colorado tag. Me and my kid. I might sneak over for the last weekend and just see. I've got a canyon that I've hunted it before, that unit. So he and I may just run over for like 2 or 3 days and just bomb into this canyon and see if we can kill a couple bucks. It's like a little pocket if you're willing to do some hiking. It's just this big open sagebrushy basin with some PJ. So I think we'll probably run over, maybe do that on a weekend. But I was thinking last year. I mean, Neville and I went to Montana last year over We were just right before Thanksgiving, and hunted just general season deer up there. And man, we had a riot. It was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Those late season hunts are so fun.
I've hunted Colorado late season for the last 9 years in a row.
I was going to say, when you said you don't have a tag, I was like, man.
I personally have done it the last 9 years in a row. This will be my 10th year going, but I don't have it. I mean, I can hunt with other people just the same as for myself.
Sure.
Like, I don't lose any excitement. I don't lose any want for it, right? So I am beyond excited to go. And anytime you put yourself in a place like this, I mean, you never know, which is that's the best part about hunting, especially late season.
It's that Christmas morning waking up going, what is going to be
this will be
there?
my 10th year in a row on a late season November hunt.
Cool.
Colorado, baby.
Right
Colorado.
on. Good luck. I can't wait to see how it goes. See the photos.
Hopefully it goes good.
He's
been shooting with Brady. So
Porter has.
Yeah. Brady.
That's usually where the big question mark comes with for him. Warning.
He's been known as the warning shot guy.
Give a warning shot.
He likes to give the animals a chance.
Keep it fair.
Yeah. One shot over
just
the back.
Solid warning, and then
drills it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
and it'll be fun.
special.
It'll be fun to catch up with Brady when he gets back and see how everybody did.
I know, man. I'm excited. What have you heard so far?
He shot a mountain lions. That's it.
A mountain lion.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's been a rough one, but
God.
for
Idaho, man.
For all the listeners right now, Brady's on a mule deer tour, so he's in Idaho.
He's on a mule deer sabbatical.
He's in Idaho hunting mule deer, and then he's gonna go straight from Idaho to Colorado second season, which starts this
Saturday.
weekend. Yeah, starts this Saturday, and then he's gonna hunt there for second season. So
so for those of you that are listening in Idaho, if you've got a deer tag, an elk tag, you can essentially, quote unquote, downgrade your tag. You can shoot a lion, a bear, or a wolf.
One of the most amazing things about that. I love that.
I forgot he had 2 deer tags.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so Idaho, you can have multiple tags and you can downgrade them.
Yeah,
so
which is awesome.
What I heard from Brady, supposedly he's going low now.
No way.
Yes.
I don't believe it.
He said he started up high and it was hot as shit for like the first 5 days, and then I think it was last weekend they got like 15 inches of snow.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a crazy cold snap.
And then he moved lower, is what he was saying.
So that's what I'm paying attention to going into this third season. I mean, right where we're going. I mean, it dropped to 15 degrees, 10 inches of snow. It'll burn off before we get there, as it looks in the weather right now. But it is staying relatively colder.
Should be good.
That'll push the pressure a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Should be good.
So I'm definitely paying attention to that going into those first 2 days of scouting.
Cool. Well, good luck to everybody out there when this podcast hits. Most of you guys will be out there, that drew second, third season, fourth season rifle deer tags in Colorado. If you've got other late season tags, good luck to you.
Is Colorado the late season state?
Pretty much.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one I think of. It's like,
I feel like
I guess you've got Montana general season that runs the length of November. Mm-hmm. You can hunt those real late. But yeah, those are kind of the 2 big ones for me that pop up, Colorado and Montana. Yep.
I agree.
Well, good luck. We'll close out with a promo.
Hit him, Trail.
Hit him with a promo.
Hit him with the promo.
Real quick, 50-50-50 promo. Use the use the promo code podcast50. Get yourself all 50 states GOHUNT Maps membership for $50. We give you 50 points back to the GOHUNT Gear Shop, which is $50. So you essentially pays for itself. You get $50 in gear. Pick yourself up some late season gear. So
holiday season's coming around the corner.
Oh yeah, Black Friday is coming up. Yep.
Black Friday.
Yep.
God, it's gonna be busy.
It's gonna be busy. So yeah, use the promo code podcast50 and good luck on your late season hunts.
See ya.
Bitches.
Trail. Just get chased.